everybody who buys from pharmacy and who wants to not buy an entire strip of medicine, perhaps only buy 1 or 2 pills, and it becomes very difficult to sort of negotiate with chemists who do not want to give you 1 or 2 pills, they want to give you the entire strip. Government, it appears, is asking chemists not to force people to buy entire medicine strips. This could augur well for people who are only looking to buy, medicine in small amount, not spend too much. But it's going to be a very difficult process, Karthik. It won't be easy to keep a tab on what every chemist is selling and how they're selling.
So Shweta, I think it's a good move. There is no doubt, right? Because there are generic drugs which are not very expensive, but then there are specialized drugs which are expensive, right? You get a strip of, let's say, a specialized drug for a cancer treatment or for any other critical ailment, or even when we saw during COVID, wrongly prescribed or not prescribed remdesivir, one packet selling for 3,000 bucks or something, 10 tablets. These are, so the expensive medicines, of course, you don't need to consume the entire strip when it has been prescribed to you, but only a few, so the dosage is limited. So I think consumers not being compelled to buy an entire strip for medicines that they will not consume and eventually them expiring and sort of going into waste completely into their dustbins. It's a great move from the consumer standpoint, right? Especially on non-generic, expensive prescribed drugs. Now the point is, it's important to take the entire industry together, and the real intervention will actually have to come from the packaging industry here, I believe. Of course, the pharma companies and the drug manufacturers themselves, but what is really critical here should be the packaging. Because what I foresee is this great chance of expired drugs possibly being palmed off, right? Or drugs which have labels smudged off, or a generic being palmed off because the packaging got cut in a way that the brand is not visible anymore. So I think the larger context here needs to be with the packaging industry and the pharma drug manufacturers sort of having this great conversation together, where there should be smaller sizes available. So there should be single tablet packs, 2 tablet packs, 6 tablet packs. So these permutations, combinations will have to be worked out so that the labeling, the branding, the price, the expiry date, all this is very clearly mentioned, even if you were to pick up a single tablet or a tablet quantity lesser than what the entire strip offers you. Because typically what happens is a rectangular strip, on one side of the strip you have all the information on pricing, packaging, date, all of that mentioned, and somewhere else you will have maybe the dosage, the ingredients, the composition of the medicine. Now how do you do that in a very small packet of let's say a toffee sized, candy sized packet which just sells 1 tablet? So that is something that will have to be worked out. Of course, great that consumers don't have to pay for the entire strip if they're not going to use it, but you'll have to safeguard the same consumers that expired, wrong brands, wrong compositions are also not cut and sold to them where they have no means to cross-verify.
And a perforation for that matter within the strip, so as to easily detach them and sell them off, as opposed to finding a scissor to cut it off, because that's also a very difficult task. And fearing wastage.
Absolutely.
Chemists often don't give you one tablet or 2 tablets. So I think all of that will have to be worked around with the packaging industry. What we know so far is that Department of Consumer Affairs has held the first round of consultation with senior representatives from pharmaceutical and medical devices industry. In fact, Drug Controller General, DCGI, were also present in the meeting. These are, of course, very initial sort of discussion. We don't know when that's going to happen. But as Karthik mentioned, packaging is going to be very important. You have to safeguard the same people whom you're trying to sell off 1 or 2 tablets as opposed to the entire strip. All of that will, of course, take a lot of working and a lot of, I suppose, work in the backdrop before you start selling off and before you start implementing any such advisory.